We need the storm,
Aim low!
the whirlwind,
Make every fire count!
and the earthquake!
God damn it!
I think James McBride's genius in the novel is just that you hear it so much louder. The story sinks in so completely because you laughed the whole way through, because it is one of the funniest books I've ever read. What it allows for are the moments in history that are ridiculous to be ridiculous, which are things that are often moments in history that we've put up on this pedestal. But when you back up a little bit, like the institution of slavery is ridiculous in and of itself. So is the idea of freedom, right, to somebody who's been a slave. So like, we only recognize that we're in a moment in hindsight, right? Like the history books tell us what the moments are, and that's dangerous too. That's the reason we generally don't know anything about the attack on Harper's Ferry, because that's not conducive to the power structure that we know that part of history, right? So, but as human beings, just living through our moments, we make choices based on all sorts of things, right? My level of comfort at the time. Frederick Douglass wrote after John Brown died that I was willing to live for the slave. John Brown was willing to die for him. And that was like, Frederick Douglass in a very real way was not about to go die in order to emancipate the slaves. He didn't believe that that's what his journey was. John Brown was all ready for that. Frederick Douglass had a very comfortable life in the North and was relatively wealthy and doing a lot of good and winning over the hearts and minds of a lot of people. The way they were approaching the same problem was different, and that exists, and all of us are making those decisions all the time, right? Was it worth it for you to go out and march after George Floyd was dead if you have an elderly parent at home who's like susceptible to COVID, right, in the middle of a pandemic? These are the decisions that we're making all the time, and that's fine. People are people. You are supposed to make those decisions. It's the totality of a society making all of these kinds of decisions all the time that lead to great moments in history, right? So everybody doing their part, and you zeroing in, just being intentional on what your part is. And I think we get a lot of that out of the series. There's a bunch of people who were like, that's where my line is, I'm gone. You know, like that's it. That's as far as I'm willing to go for this. And I did my part, and I'm going back to living life. That's real, it's human.